You will not believe the number of people that were at the game yesterday at Texas Southern. That's why I'm hoarse, because we had a barn burner of a football game, and you can find out what happened next on the Alabama A&M Football Review with head coach Connell Maynor.
Welcome to the Alabama A&M Football Review. Highlights, features, and analysis with head coach Connell Maynor. Brought to you by Protective Life, Union Chapel Missionary Baptist Church, and University Kia.
Good evening and welcome to the Alabama A&M Football Review with head coach Connell Maynor. I'm the guy that really doesn't have a voice, but I'm going to try real hard tonight. Ted Dixie is your host. Coach, congratulations. All I can really say is congratulations. I don't have a voice. You talk tonight. 52-49 was the score.
Thank you. It was really a old-fashioned shootout. Last team with the ball probably going to win a football game. Fortunately for us, they was last team with the ball, but they didn't have enough time.
Right.
We was able to make one more play than them. It was back and forth all the way. They took the lead going into half, of course, and they actually came out and scored first in the second half, and it really put a lot of pressure on our offense to score and pressure on our defense to get a couple of stops now. Because the only way you can really come back is you got to get stops.
Right.
And so the defense was able to get a couple of stops and get us back in the game. And then when they really had to have a stop in the fourth quarter to give us a chance to take the lead, they got that stop, and then we took the lead. And then with maybe 20-something seconds, 30 seconds, they didn't have any timeouts. That was big. And our defense was able to hold them to a long field goal attempt. And, of course, he missed it. And the Bulldogs won. And that's what it's all about. Us getting a W. I don't care if it's 52-49 or 10-8, as long as we win the football game.
I know that's right, Coach. And let's work backwards in this game. So they didn't have enough time left, Coach, because you intentionally slowed down the offense on the game-winning score.
Well, we didn't want to score too fast, but we was in a position where we had to score a touchdown. So when you're in that position, not just a field goal, it's a little bit different. You try to slow it down, but you got to get a touchdown. And so we tried to score on second and third down on the goal line, and they stopped us, which was good because that forced them to use timeouts. And we ran a couple of seconds off before they called the timeout. But if we score on second down or first down, now it's a minute 45, they still got 2 timeouts. That's plenty of time and only needing a field goal.
That's right.
And so I wasn't upset when they stopped us on second down, third down. I never doubted that we was going to score. And so they put so many people in the box that we just went power pass and was able to slip Bryson into the flats for easy throw and catch. To go up 1. And then, of course, in that situation, you got to go for 2 to make it a 3-point game. Just in case they do hit the field goal, they can only tie and not beat you.
Right.
So that was a good possession for us, a good drive, where we was able to eat clock and make them burn their timeouts and scored a touchdown. And then we got a 2-point conversion, which was big, too. And then the defense held. They really did a real good job until the second to last play when they dumped it to the running back, to put him in position, because we had him in a bad situation right then. And he dumped it to him and got about 20, 25 yards and gave him a chance for a last-second hero field goal. And, of course, he missed it.
And, of course, Coach, when you're in that situation, as you just mentioned, what goes through, you think, the student-athletes' minds when they're thinking we have a chance to win or we got a chance to lose it?
When you're out there on the football field, you really don't think about it that way like the fans do. The fans are always more nervous, and the parents, and the people on the sideline than the guys on the field. The guys on the field are trying to see what the formation is, trying to see what the defense is, trying to see where the blitzes are coming from. So they just playing football. So they really not as nervous as people think, as the people in the stands are. The people in the stands, they biting their fingernails, can't look, things of that nature. But the players on the field are just reacting to football.
And, of course, the Bulldogs so good you had to fly. Flying out to Texas is a lot better than riding a bus, Coach.
Oh yeah, we're not riding no bus. Them days over with. You know, we're gonna get on the flight. Yeah. You know, we got a good program. We got top-notch program. We treat our players right. We stay in the finest hotels. we travel with 4 and 5 buses. So we're definitely gonna get on the flight and get there and get back. We're not doing those days over with.
Thank goodness. Of course, Coach, now you have one more game left. You've assured yourself of having 4 winning seasons in a row. How do you feel about that?
That's why we're here. That's what we do, and that's what we want to do. We always want to have a winning season. We always want to have a chance to play for a championship and play in those championships and win them if we get there and be able to represent our conference in that Celebration Bowl. We weren't able to do that this year, but at the end of the day, we win this football game. We wound up 7-3, winning the Classic. You know, having 2 games that we really thought we should have won and could have won. We didn't. We got to take your hats off to the other opponents. They play in their own scholarship just like we are. So at the end of the day, 7-3 record is not all bad, with a chance to slip in the back door of the NCAA playoffs.
And when we come back, you can enjoy the first half highlights right here on the Alabama A&M Football Review with head coach Connell Maynor.
Don't get hit hard by low trade offers.
Get up to $5,000 over Kelley Blue Book fair market value for any trade at University Kia. Check out our large selection of new Kias. University Kia proudly supports Alabama A&M University football. Go Bulldogs!
Bulldog fans, the Alabama A&M Athletics Department is calling on you to help our student athletes. The Bulldog Strong Fund focuses on our student athletes by encouraging competition. During this global pandemic, competitive excellence takes on a new definition for our Bulldogs. This fund enhances our efforts to ensure our athletic department can service each team to become a prominent national competitor in all aspects of NCAA Division I athletics. Donation to the Bulldog Strong Fund will be used to cover student athletic scholarships, supporting recruiting efforts, and creating additional health and wellness initiatives. We're under tough and challenging times, but with your support, the Bulldog Strong Fund will thrive. Donations of all sizes make a huge difference and are greatly appreciated. Visit amusports.com to learn more about the Bulldog Strong Fund and how you can donate now. Thank you in advance for your continued support of Alabama A&M athletics and our student athletes. Go Bulldogs!
In golf, if you make a mistake, there is a mulligan. Well, in God, if you make a mistake, there is mercy. Aren't you glad God has mercy for your mistakes? Hello, I am PT, Pastor Troy. I want to invite you to come and worship with us at the Fellowship of Faith, where Jesus is exalted and the Word is explained. We love Alabama A&M. Go Bulldogs!
Parker is 29 and learning to communicate again. The students teaching him earn a degree with 100% job placement. But the real reward is changing a life. At Alabama A&M, it's a university where agencies actually go to recruit compassionate students who help themselves by helping others. Service is sovereignty at Alabama A&M University. Start here, go anywhere.
Welcome back, and thank you for watching the Alabama A&M Football Review with head coach Connell Maynor. I am your host, Ted Dixie. Happy to be here, but Coach, a little bit of voice I have left. The first half highlights showed a lot of ingenuity, and as my mom likes to say, you got a big bag of tricks over there, player.
Well, we try to, sometimes they call me Santa Claus. I carry a bag of toys with me, and I have to use them sometimes. So, it's all depending on the game, the situation, when I fake. And, a lot of times when you're on your side of the field, people don't think you're going to fake.
Right.
And that's the best time to do it. When you cross the midfield, everybody thinks you're going to fake. So you can't fake it then, So it's all timing, situation, if we're winning, if we're losing, if we up. In the shootout, you got to try some stuff in the shootout because if you kick on the ball, they're probably going to score on you. So you got to try not to kick on the ball, or even on the onside kick, And I won the onside kick earlier. And the only thing I was worried about with the onside kick is that we was on natural grass, and it was a little soft. And all the onside kicks so far has been on turf. All the ones we practice has been on turf. And so now he has to kick it a little bit harder. And I didn't want to tell him that because I didn't want him to kick it too hard. But I knew the problem with the onside kick would be it might be just a little bit too short, too soft because the field was so soft. And that's really what happened. The ball was moving a little slow, and our guy ran up there and touched it first, which he wasn't supposed to do. And, of course, that gave them the ball back. And so the two things you can't do, number one is you can't be offsides.
Right.
Number two, the ball has to go 10 yards, so you got to let it go 10 yards first. And we was on sides, but we didn't let it go 10 yards, so we weren't able to get it. But we would have got it because we had them surprised, and we had people in position to scoop it, but one of our guys touched it. So we learn from it and get better and keep moving.
Okay, Coach. Now, with the onside kicks, we also saw a little controversy with another one that you'll see in the second half. But you can explain to the folks, because I know I don't know, what's the challenge rule like in college football?
Well, I get a challenge, and if I want to challenge the play, I think the officials missed the play, I can challenge it. And if I win the challenge, I get my timeout back. If I lose, and my challenge. If I lose
you
it,
call timeout first.
Right, you got to call timeout to challenge it. And so, if you win the challenge, you get your timeout back, and you get a challenge back. If you lose it, you lose one of each. And so, but what they do is they say they review every play to where we wouldn't have to challenge the play. But if the other team get up there and try to go fast and don't get a replay time to challenge the play, that's when I come in. I have to stop it, call timeout, and tell them I want to challenge the play. And so the one that we recovered, and they had a flag on the play. No, they called us offsides on one.
Right.
But it was a long return that they threw a flag on the play, and they called a blindside block. And one of the officials said there wasn't a blindside block. But the official didn't tell me what the call was. He just picked up the flag. And I tried to ask him, what's the call? What's the call? I asked the guy on my sideline, tell him to come over here and tell me what the call was.
What you're supposed to do.
Right. And he wouldn't do it. And so I couldn't challenge because I didn't know what the call was. If he'd have told me that it was a blindside block, he threw the flag for a blindside block, but another official said it wasn't a blindside block, I'd have threw the flag, I'd have told the timeout to challenge it. Because that official that saw the blindside block, he saw it. That's why he threw the flag.
Right.
So I would have challenged that, and they would have reviewed it and saw the blindside block, and we would have got the ball. Or we would have got them backed up.
Right, at least.
So that was a big play. And, of course, those plays you got to send in to the head officials, Mr. Eddie Kelly, and he'll be getting.
You know his name, huh?
Oh, yeah, I know his name. I'll be sending in about 3 or 4 plays because Abdul caught a ball on their sideline. As soon as he caught it, he put the ball up in the air. And the official ran in and said the ball hit the ground. When? When did it hit the ground? Because he took it off his chest and put it up in the air, And this official back here called it incomplete, but this official overruled him too, and said no, incomplete. That was a big play because we had a punter. They went right down and scored, So it'll be all right. They'll get a little, their pockets will be a little bit lighter next week.
And, of course, quick housekeeping note. Aqeel Glass has thrown his 100th pass as an Alabama A&M quarterback. Thank you so much for your service. Service is sovereignty. And also over 3,000 yards on the season, Coach. Great work, not just by him, but all the offensive line and the receivers and running backs as well.
Yeah, he can't do it unless he got help. You know, it starts with the offensive line. You got to be able to give him protection. They be able to get the ball down the field, and then you got to have some receivers, man. And we got a whole slew of receivers that he can get that ball to, and those guys are doing a great job of getting open and catching the ball and running with it after they get the ball. And Aquil's doing a great job of looking safeties off and making the throw, doing his job. And so it's a total team effort on the offensive side when you have a quarterback to putting up the numbers that he's putting up. And for a career to go over 100 touchdown passes, you probably can count the people that's done that on one hand.
Oh, wow.
And Quill Glass is one of them.
And then later on, we come back from the Alabama A&M football review. You'll take a look at the second half highlights, which will be outstanding. Get your popcorn ready. You got about a minute and a half for commercials. And then we'll come back and close it out with Connell Maynor on the Alabama A&M football review with head coach Connell Maynor.
Don't get hit hard by low trade offers.
Get up to $5,000 over Kelley Blue Book fair market value for any trade at University Kia. Check out our large selection of new Kias. University Kia proudly supports Alabama A&M University football. Go Bulldogs!
Hello, I'm Pastor Troy. The game of football is a lot like the game of life. You have to tackle your problems and block your fears. I just want you to know there is victory in Jesus. I want to invite you to worship with us at one of our anointed services at our Huntsville campus or our Madison campus. At the Fellowship of Faith, Jesus is exalted and the word is explained. We love Alabama A&M. Go Bulldogs!
Companies hunger for our food scientists. Here, a new generation manages our cities of tomorrow. The discovery of hardier plants, healthier animals, is growing at our research station, Alabama A&M University, where new designs and ideas are put to the test. Be a researcher in our labs, or a forestry fire dog in our fields. Alabama A&M University. Start here, go anywhere.
Again, thank you for watching the Alabama A&M football review with head coach Connell Maynor. I'm your host, Ted Dixie. Coach, this is your shine right here, buddy. You've got to talk to us about what was going on with the last probably 3 touchdowns scored in the game. 2 by the Bulldogs and 1 by Texas Southern.
We was down 11 points, and we was to a point where now you can't make any more mistakes. You got to execute at a high level, offensively and defensively, because defensively you got to get stops. Offensively, you got to execute and get in the end zone to score touchdowns. Field goals weren't going to do it, and the punt wasn't going to get it done. So our guys had their backs against the wall, and they executed. You know, we went down and scored, cut it to 4. I think we cut it to 5. And we went for 2 to cut it to 3 because now it's late. All the other times we you just kick because it's a high-scoring game. It's going to be a lot of more opportunity to score. So you don't chase points early in a shootout. And so that's why we waited so late to go for 2. When we cut it to 5, after we scored, we say we get 3 right here, get a 2 right here, cut it to 3. Now we're down a field goal. And, of course, we didn't get the 2-point conversion, so now it's a 5-point game. And then the defense got us to stop, and we went down and scored. And now we up 1, so now you go for 2 again to put it to 3, so they can't kick a field goal and beat you by 2, or beat you by 1 if you guys kick it.
Which has happened before out of Texas Southern.
Right, so down that stretch was huge for our team, and I told Coach Taylor, I said, Coach Taylor, after we scored, we're going for 2. I told the team before we scored a touchdown, I said, don't celebrate, don't get too happy, because we're going for 2 after we score. Don't everybody just run around and get out. We're going for 2. We're going to score, we're going to go for 2. So we scored, put up the 2. I think Abdul ran off the sideline to celebrate with Bryson scoring his second touchdown. Yes. And then Abdul actually stayed in the game, and then Bryson came out. So, but the guys knew we was going to score, and they knew we was going for 2. And that's what you got. You got to put them in that situation so everybody won't just be running around acting crazy. Might get a penalty, back us up. Now we can't go for 2. And that happened against us this year. That helped us and won our game. So you got to let the guys understand what's going on, what's about to happen, so they won't get too happy and do something stupid and get a penalty. Now we're at the 18-yard line trying to get a 2-point conversion, and put you behind the 8 ball and the change. So, but our guys executed at a high level, and we got it done down the stretch. Executed perfectly in the last 4 minutes of the game.
Something I'm going to wonder why I don't have a voice is because the fourth quarter we were in the stands cheering. I mean, a lot of the Bulldog faithful that live in the Houston area or were able to drive to the game. Barry Wagner was at the game as well. Coach, it was just beating and yelling. Could y'all actually hear that, and what's it make you feel like?
Well, it's hard to hear, but I did hear a couple of defense a couple of times. And so for the fans that showed up, they showed up to be fans, to cheer when they're supposed to on third downs and help the defense get off the field and get that offense that shot in the arm they need, because they can hear those guys cheering for them and celebrating. So it's just great that we got so much support, especially so far away from here in the Houston area, for those guys, those Bulldogs to show up and show out. And that helped us win the football game. No doubt, it helped us win the football game. And we really had the 12th man on the road yesterday.
And we were really paying attention what was happening, Coach, because everyone was asking, what down is it? What yard line are we on? Because you're that low on the field. And well, now it's not BBVA, but it's PNC Bank Field. It's a great place for a football game.
It is. It's a wonderful venue. It's not a bad seat in the house.
Right.
And really the only bad seat might be the first 2 rows because they so low if you're sitting behind the players. So you might want to go up to the next level and or go just past the players, outside the players to maybe the 30-yard line. But it's a great little stadium. It's a great field. It's well manicured, and it's a fast turf with grass. It's real fast, and some people grass is 3-4 inches, but this mug was like a golf course, and so it's really fast turf.
It would have been nice trying to punt a 40-yarder there. And then, Coach, it was senior day at Texas Southern. It will be senior day here on the Hill this Saturday afternoon. Arkansas Pine Bluff comes to town. Yeah, you've heard that name before. That's who the Bulldogs beat in the spring to become the SWAC champions and also the HBCU national champions. That game happens Saturday, Coach, 1 o'clock kickoff. Please come on out and send the seniors off with a great send-off, because I tell you what, Texas Southern took advantage of that, and we need to do that Saturday. When we come back on the Alabama A&M Football Review, we'll talk a little bit about that with head coach Connell Maynor.
Darryl brings new energy to the power plant. Julian's accounting is by the numbers. They're student interns from the College of Business and Public Affairs at Alabama A&M University, where marketing class connects with the community and companies come to recruit. So while Kyle strengthens his managerial skills, he's earning a business degree and experience at Alabama A&M University. Start here, go anywhere. Union Chapel Missionary Baptist Church, a church with a big heart of love. Located at 315 Winchester Road in Huntsville, Alabama, under the leadership of Dr. O. Wendell Davis. The worship services begin at 7:45 a.m. and 10:45 a.m. every Sunday. Now, we pray that you are blessed by our worship experience.
Engineering and science usually look like this, but our students build race cars from the ground up, explore wind tunnels, particle accelerators, and crystal growth. Our studies in cybersecurity and rocket propulsion have tech companies like Google and SpaceX recruiting at Alabama A&M University, with one of the highest percentages of women STEM graduates in the country. Alabama A&M University. Start here, go anywhere.
Thank you for watching the Alabama A&M Football Review with head coach Connell Maynor. I'm Ted Dixie. Last game of the season. It will be Senior Day on the Hill. 1 o'clock p.m. is the kickoff time from Lewis Cruz Physical Education Complex. We're going to send these seniors off, Coach, and I know they had a great deal to do with your success now.
They had everything to do with it. They bought in from day one when I first got here, and we had to change the culture, and they believed in me and our coaching staff, our systems, everything that we had in place, from the weight room to practices to meetings. And they just believed and bought in and got everybody else to believe and buy in. And we got to turn around that first year, of course, and then the second year we won again. And in the spring we won the championship and the HBCU National Championship. And then it came back with high expectations this year and just fell a little short. But we got another winning season, and we get this win this week. We can get these guys out of here 7-3 and what's that, 7-6, 27?
Pretty close, yeah.
27 wins in 4 years with a championship and the HBCU National Championship. So that's not bad coming from 6 previous losing seasons.
Right.
And 4-0 in the Magic City Classic. These guys are ready to say, some of them, they never lost the Magic City Classic. Aquila Glass did lose one, but he wasn't the starter.
Right.
So he can say he started in 4, won 4, but he did lose one. So it's a lot of positive feedback from this senior class and the build up to next year and the future of A&M football that these guys help start and continue. And so we want to continue these winning seasons every year. We never want to have a losing season, but we want to be in position to compete and play for championships every year.
And again, folks, come on out to Lewis Cruz Stadium. Kickoffs at 1 o'clock p.m. For tickets, go to aamusports.com and find out more information, or aamutix.com. So for Coach Maynor, I'm Ted Dixie. Happy to have you. And for Mel, Mo, Tercel, and Jake, thank you all for watching the Alabama A&M Football Review with head coach Connell Maynor. Good night.
Bulldog fans, thank you for joining us today for the Alabama A&M University Football Review. Bulldog faithful, we encourage your support and participation. Until next time, go Bulldogs!